So the first time I heard this was from Chris Bumstead, like a Canadian bodybuilder, and he says the greatest accomplishment in achieving your goals isn't the goal; it's the person you become achieving your goals. Something along the lines of that, and I tried to explain it at training, but I'll go through it here because I think it's really good at encompassing what I've been doing in the past few years of my life. Um, and through my experiences in wanting to reach these goals that I've had for myself, I've become a person that is like dedicated and puts in effort and shows up and goes when they're tired, goes when they're sick, doing these things because it's that person that will achieve these goals. So that's why I talk about working backwards. So the goals that you might have, what sort of person do you think would achieve them? And what would that person do? Reflecting on that and then working yourself towards that identity to becoming that person will help you reach your goals instead of just waffling around and mindlessly training. So for me personally and my experiences, being mindful and dedicated and very reflective in my movements and in my game and making changes were super important. There's so many traits that I could talk to you about, but I won't go too deep into that. They'll come in soon if I tell a story. But before that, I got asked a few questions from one of the players at training. The first one is, how do you cope with the pressure and stress in volleyball and in outside life? So it's always tough. Like life changes, like your responsibilities change, getting older. I think it's just a process of learning how to be an adult. But I always try to show up with 100% of what I have, no matter how much it is. Like if I only have 60% to give, I'll give 60%. I'll do my best to give 60%. If I have 100 or 110%, I'm going to be giving 110%, and anything less than that isn't acceptable. So I do that in life, and then when it comes time to volleyball, I give that in volleyball. So I don't hold external factors as I don't hold like the results as a means to if I did very well. Like of course winning is great, of course setting super clean or hitting massive kills is great, but you're not always going to be on top of your game. And if you hold those standards to yourself and you keep getting like mentally holding these standards higher and higher, and you fall from those standards, that's a big mental shock. So for me, how do I cope? Like it's always tough, but if I know that I've given my best, then I can be happy with that, because what more can you do than do your best, right? In whatever it is, in your relationship, in your studies, in your work, and in volleyball. Yeah. How did you build up your beliefs and philosophies, and what drives you to it? Okay. So here's the story. I took about 18 months off volleyball to practice Olympic weightlifting. I initially did Olympic weightlifting because I wanted to be more explosive. I wanted to be more physically athletic because I thought that was what I needed to achieve my goals of playing a higher division. Spoilers, it was not. It was fucking not. But before that, I'd been playing volleyball for a few years. I started when I was 17 and maybe until about 20. And I wasn't really getting anywhere. I was going to trainings. I was doing the 2 days a week training and a Saturday game. And, coaches are like, higher players coming down, they're just helping out, they're teaching you skills, and that's it. And I wasn't really getting anywhere. I was making really small baby steps improvements, and that's great. But I took time off because I thought being more athletic would get me there. And I went to a gym, an Olympic lifting gym, and I got a coach. And in there, it turns out that I'm way more physically gifted to be an Olympic weightlifter. And I was pretty strong. So my coach was like, look, you could be really good. Like, what do you want, Stephen? And I'm like, I want to be the best. That's what I wanted at the time. I want to be like amazing at volleyball, or I wanted to be amazing at something. And my coach was like, yeah, I can teach you how to be the best. And one of the first lessons he taught me was shut the fuck up and listen to coach. And that's it. I would listen intently to every word he said and every cue that he gave me to be more mindful, to be more balanced. So in the sport of lifting, it's like very technical in Olympic lifting. And yeah, it's like all the cues about like being more balanced, being explosive, like which joints and which muscles contract at different times to produce the most amount of power. And that amount of self-reflection every single second of training was really good for me, because it helped me improve myself. I could reflect and improve on myself because I knew what the correct thing was, and I knew when it wasn't good, and I held myself to a high standard. So if I saw it wasn't good, like I'd fix it in the next session, or I'd do my best to fix it in the next session, because that's all you can do. It's doing better next time. And it's in this gym that like the barbell and my coach taught me more about like life and philosophy than I would have understood from reading books, which I do, but it helped me understand more. Like the dedication to show up 4 or 5 days to the gym and lift for 2 to 4 hours and then go home and study and eat clean and diet and water cut for competition. The discipline and like the discipline, dedication, showing up, all of these traits built this like philosophy and identity within me. In the end, I left that scene because it became really stressful, and story for another time, but it became really stressful. And I begged my way back into volleyball, and using all of these traits and knowledge about how to learn or how to correct myself or how to be better without needing someone to tell me, I improved at like 4 times the rate that I would have if I was just doing the same old thing. So if you ever hear me talk, like say about like, if you ever hear me say like, if nothing changes, like if you practice the same, nothing changes, so nothing changes, I truly mean it. Like you need to be looking for more, you need to be looking for different. You can't just be doing the same thing again and again and expecting change, right? To finish off that question, how do I build up the beliefs and philosophies? I think life is just like your thoughts and views of the world is like this screen and these glasses, these lenses, and what you hold to be true or what beliefs you want about the world to be true tint that lens and you'll see more of it. So I wanted to see the world like in a different way. I wanted to see it like more positively than some of my family and friends, and I wanted to see it as like the point of life is like a reflection from your deathbed, and when you're 80 and when your life flashes before your eyes, are you gonna regret taking that risk? Are you going to be like, yeah, I'm glad I played it safe, I'm glad I didn't chase my dreams? So for me, like thinking about how I want to view the world and working backwards to how I should live my life now is how I built up like this belief system. And honestly, it's just because it's the way I want to live my life. Yeah. Having such intention and clear vision in what you want to achieve and have the drive to do what you want. So speaking about that, like if I was 80 and dying, my grandkids around, I'd be like, man, I like left everything in Adelaide and I moved to Melbourne to pursue volleyball, and my grandkids will be like, "You're cooked, grandpa." But honestly, like, isn't that just such a great way to live life? It's because I view that. I view how like I want to live life and what brings me the most fire and the most joy to experience, like, even if it's because being an athlete, you're only going to do it for a few years, and it's like a flame that's flickering and it's going to go out. Or if you take a few years off, it might be like really tough to get back in. So how do I have energy to do it? It's because the lifestyle is something that gives me energy to do it. But how do I have such intention and clear vision? I would say I said yes to opportunities, and those opportunities opened more doors that I didn't know. So I started training full time on the beach. I've forgotten the year. And shout out to my partner back then, Jerome. Thank you. I started training like full time on the beach, and we went to like, Jerome's my height. We're like 170, and we're playing beach. It was a rough situation. And we traveled Australia, and in the lifestyle of like, I said yes to him, and I didn't know if I wanted to be a beach player, but he wanted to be a beach player. But I was like, look, beach will help me get good at indoor, and I'm not really sure what I want right now. I would love to practice more. So saying yes to that opportunity, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, got me into training like 4 or 5 times a week, and then like a full Sunday game on the weekend, and then traveling Australia to playing competitions and meeting amazing people that I never would have met if I didn't say yes to that opportunity. And from that, it opened doors that I didn't know existed. And I realized that the world is so big. If Australia is so big, if traveling interstate to compete is so big, and there's cool people, there's different styles of volleyball, like, then life is so big, the world is so big. And after seeing how good I could be in beach, I had a reflection when things ended on the beach, and I thought about what I wanted, and I still wanted to play indoor. There's a lot of creativity and beauty, I think, that can be played on an indoor court that has only just started coming into play in like the new age volleyball. And I wanted to show off my athleticism on the indoor court, because I figured out that I wanted to play, like, it's just going through these experiences and reflecting on them as you go through like these chapters of your life and career and like, of volleyball or work. And then you get a better idea each time you reflect about what it is specifically that you want. So after the beach season, I realized I wanted to play this inspiring volleyball, like something that I loved, that my passion would burn through my plays. And there's a funny story as a tangent here. There were juniors in the SA scene, which I've never met before, but they knew me, and through some of their like older cousins who are my age, they would tell me like, oh, this is my nephew, and he really looks up to you. And me as like a 22-year-old kid, man, I'm still a kid back then, still a kid now. As a 22-year-old man, I was like, 21-year-old man, I was like, what? Like, how could you look up to me? Like, I'm not even that good. And it helped, and that also helped me realize that even though I'm looking up at this next like few mountains and thinking about how I'm going to take these steps forward to climb these mountains, these juniors are at the base of whatever mountain they're on, and they're looking up and they see me, and they're inspired that I have made it up this mountain. And for me, it's mainly because I was like a short dude that had massive hops in South Australia. But even then, like, the passion that I played back then was still obvious. So I'm assuming that's why they found me like inspiring. So it's because of my experiences and saying yes to opportunities that have opened more doors that I didn't know existed, that I've also said yes to, and reflecting on my experiences and how those experiences then sharpen my understanding of why I want to do something is what gives me such clear intention and vision. And right now, like as a player, I want to play something inspiring. I want to play something beautiful. I want the expression of skill to be like my own expression of art. And I never knew it. I didn't know what I was going to do. But in another, like, because of my experience in the gym, I started coaching in the gym and doing volleyball coaching and gym coaching, things that I wasn't really sure that I was going to do, or I never really had this idea that I wanted to do. I realized that I really liked it and I didn't know why. And then now, as the years go on and the learning goes on, I realize it's because, as I'm explaining in this video, I think that striving to achieve a goal is less about achieving the goal, and it's more about the person that you become achieving the goal. And I find it very rewarding and very fulfilling to help others along their paths to their goals and seeing the people that they become. So it truly just came out of nowhere, and I just said yes to a bunch of opportunities, and the ones that didn't really excite me, I like pulled back on, and the ones that I really wanted to, the ones that felt like I wanted to put energy towards, I just kept putting energy towards it, and now I'm here as a player, as a coach, and as a person. And because of that, it's easy because I love it. And to not burn out, which is a very common thing that happens, is to have nice balance and nice, like a good balance and a good mentor about it. So as I said at the beginning, if you're holding yourself to like standards, external standards of performance and results, like you're gonna get better, but you can't always play out your 100%. So and honestly, that's why I quit Olympic weightlifting, because I got really strong and then I wanted to maintain that standard or get stronger, and it's not normal. Like it's very normal to have dips, ebbs and flows in life and in volleyball and in lifting. And it's because I got weaker temporarily that it really like messed with my mental, messed with my identity. So with the key to not burning out, I feel, is to bring fun and enjoyment into it and to love the process. So I love working hard. I love like scrambling. I love like feeling that my touch has made a difference to the next player and then the next player, rather than I want to like how my touch influences the game as a whole. And as such, I love every touch of volleyball. It could be something simple as a free ball pass, because I feel like a lot of people just want to feel like the enjoyment of bouncing a ball, which is, I feel, very results orientated. It's nothing wrong there. It's just, I feel if you focus on the process and the enjoyment of the process, you'll burn out less. There's a saying, it's a man who likes to walk will walk further than a man who wants to like walk to the goal, walk to the flag. Damn, I butchered that quote. But the point is, if you love the process and you love taking each step at a time, you'll go way further. So that's also something I try to do. I guess like this last one's a bit broad. It's like identity crises and stuff. Look, it really depends on how you want to view the world and how you want to view yourself in this world. I genuinely feel like not feeling a rush and not needing to have everything figured out too early is key. Because for me, if I continued my studies and got a job in something that I wasn't sure, like I'd be taking a coin flip on if I liked or not, I would have regretted not taking the opportunity to try to be the best player, because I loved it and I still love it. And in letting myself wander through the experiences, I have found something that I think is important and tugs at like my soul to want to like put my life into. And I think that fulfillment is just so much better. So, and something really personal. I had like, bit personal. I had like a bit of a troubled childhood. And without going into too much detail, I was unhappy with the person that I was leaving high school. And it was just filled with a lot of like shame and doubt. And I had like a lot of people in family that were like already adults who had already gone through their path, and they were like sort of pointing me like, "Hey, you should be doing this and this is this," and like I'm like dizzy. I don't know where to look. And the one thing that was really clear to me then was I wanted to make my own choices and own decisions. I didn't want my life to be like, I didn't want the path to, I didn't want to take someone else's path or the path that my siblings wanted me to take, even though like their wisdom, they probably meant well, and they do mean well. So because I wanted to understand the person I wanted to be, I went through all of this and I found things that I loved, and I was just very open to learning and experiencing the present moment as a whole and keeping myself there. Being mindful and being present were very important, and being open to learning in all situations. So, because if you're open to learning and you're being present and you get to see the lessons that are like showing up as you go about your daily life, and like whatever small or big commitments that you put yourself in. Where was I going with this? Because I was mindful and open to learning, I did volleyball because I wanted to. I was an Olympic weightlifter because I wanted to. I became a coach because I really wanted to. I did this because I really wanted to. I went and I competed nationally for Olympic weightlifting because I wanted to, and then I gave it up, and I felt like a setback. But then I went and played on the beach for a year because I wanted to, and then I hadn't played indoor, and I wanted to go back to indoor because I wanted to. And even though my path hasn't been like a straight line, because I didn't know where I wanted to go at the end, the learnings from all of these experiences can be taken on board to sharpen like your understanding of what goal you want, and can help you learn faster to get to that goal. So, really appreciate the questions, by the way. So, I think now that I can explain it, because I haven't been able to the past few years, I want to be a coach that makes you better as a person. A coach that helps you build this identity. And it starts with what I believe to be mindfulness, dedication, so showing up, consistency, being present and being open to learning. There's so many things. And I hope that you join me on this journey. And I hope to be your coach and mentor as we go along. Thanks.